Stockton, California proves that universal basic income can work. Let's take it national. They've been doing it in Alaska for 30, 40 years now. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Let me just recap real quickly what's happening in Stockton, and then I've got a quick science news for you, and then I'll pick up your phone calls. Stockton, California, about 2.5 years ago, started this experiment, or maybe about 3 years ago. It ran for 2 years, and now they've compiled all the data. It was published in Scientific American. It was a universal basic income experiment. They randomly selected 125 families and basically said to these families, we're going to give you $500 a month. Doesn't matter what you do with it. You don't have to work, you don't have to not work, you don't have to prove your income, you don't have nothing. Right? We're just going to, now this was done in a part of town that was a very low income part of town, so, it's unlikely that anybody who was making, $1 million a year got that $500 a month. So it was mostly people who, could actually use it and actually needed it. This research, the follow-up on this was done by researchers from the University of Tennessee and the University of Pennsylvania. And they looked at a group of, at all of these families that got the $500 a month, and then they looked at a control group of families who lived in the same area, in the same neighborhoods, and didn't get the $500 a month. Now, the context for this is that the United States is pretty much the only developed country on earth that says to its citizens, we are going to use poverty as a whip to get you to work. Pretty much every other country in the world does not do that. They just say, we're not going to have poverty. They, pretty much, now I'm talking about the OECD countries, the 34 OECD countries. The only other country in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, the 34 richest countries in the world, the only other country that uses welfare the way we do is Turkey. All the rest of them just say, we're not going to have poverty in Germany anymore. We're not going to have poverty in Denmark anymore. We're not going to have poverty here in Norway anymore. And so we're just going to establish a floor that people don't fall through. So they're kind of doing universal basic income, but instead of doing it by just mailing out a check to everybody, they're doing it by saying, we're going to support your housing. We're going to support your food costs. We're going to give you free education. We're going to give you free health care. It's kind of the same thing, but not quite. So anyhow, what did we learn from this experience in Stockton, California? Just to break it out, and this is from an analysis over on Daily Kos by MRMUNI 12, titled "Stockton's Basic Income Experiment Has Spectacular Outcome for Progressivism in the COVID Relief Package." I'll just quote from this summary of the Scientific American study. For one thing, it reduced volatility in household income. Households getting the cash saw their month-to-month earnings fluctuate 46% versus the control group 68%. That's because a lot of people in poverty are just working part-time jobs here and there, whatever they can get. The families receiving the $500 a month tended to spend the money on essentials, including food, home goods, utilities, and gas. Less than 1% went to cigarettes and alcohol. The old Republican trope is, well, if you give free money to poor people, they're going to buy booze. Nope. The cash also doubled the household's capacity to pay unexpected bills and allowed recipient families to pay down their debts. Individuals getting the cash were also better able to help their family and friends, providing financial stability to the broader community. And it did not cause people not to want to work. The researchers also found that guaranteeing income did not dissuade participants from working. In fact, the opposite. In the Stockton study, what it did is it gave people enough financial stability that they could go out and find a job. In the Stockton study, the share of participants with full-time jobs rose 12 percentage points versus 5 percentage points in the control group. What that money did is it created a capacity for goal setting, for risk-taking, and for personal investment. More work, less destitution, more family stability, less strained social networks, less stress, fewer incidents of homelessness, fewer skipped meals. But you're still never going to get Republicans to go along with this. Because, in my opinion, the main reason why you'll never get Republicans to go along with this is because black people might benefit from it. That's what it's come down to for the GOP. That's how nuts this all is.